Now, John, as I'm starting to work with new agents, one of the first questions I get is, do you have leads for me, and who should I talk to first? Can you kind of cover that for us?
Yeah, I'll do my absolute best. There's movies about that too. Glengarry Glen Ross, and the leads that really didn't turn out to be what they're all made out to be. And you find that I was never one. I don't like, as I was growing up in sales, I had the same idea, because you're always looking for the magic leads, the one that close. But there's, just like having the magic pixie dust in a sales presentation, there is no Spock move. This thing really doesn't work and you go down like a ton of bricks. It doesn't happen. But there is a series of things that you can do. But back to getting leads that are really good, or how do I generate them? One, getting leads that are really good. Honestly, I've always preferred to generate my own. Because I know what exactly went into the lead. The whole common thing is all salespeople, when they're given a lead, it's never as good as they think it should be. And then they complain, these leads are no good. Well, you know what? Maybe they're not. And maybe your sales presentation isn't very good. But I know that if I generate my own, that I know what went into the qualifying questions that ended up being what I'd call a lead. And so then I know everything that's gone into it, and I know then what they've said, what they've checked off as whatever they're interested in. So I know then how to take it from there and turn it into a sale. I don't want anybody's leads. I want to generate my own. Now, because two reasons. One is that if that lead source ever dried up that people are giving to me, guess who's not selling anymore? I've been down to the life rodeo, to the sales life rodeo way too many times to rely on some of these crappy leads that I don't know where they come from, that could dry up at any moment. No, thank you very much. I'll go my own road. Let me do my own, and I much prefer. In fact, I once was so cocky in that regard. I go, look, give me everybody who said they weren't interested. I know that's a whole different road, but it's what I realized. It's not in the lead. It's not in the lead. It's about creating a machine. And there's two ways to go about sales, and there's like two different gears, maybe three, depending on what you're selling and how it goes. But gear number one is very manual labor. You start, and in regards to what you're starting, if you're, I'm not a real advocate of cold calling, as you know. I would rather, sometimes you do that but you do maybe about three different things. One is I'm going to go to anybody who might come to mind as somebody to be a good target. People that I already know, I already have a rapport and relationship with. And even if they aren't a buyer, they're a referrer. I'm all into building a referral network that will send me business that's easy to close. And that's kind of gear number two. But you work on that from day one. So if I'm starting, I don't care what it is. If I'm going to sell, I've never sold private jets before. But let's say I got a job today selling private jets. One of the first things I would do is I go, well, who do I know that might be a decent target for a private jet? Or I'd get, be a little creative in where you go. Call up some people, ask them questions. I could call up maybe I would call, I'd make a short list of people that I know that might be able to afford a private jet, and I would find out what they know, and they would lead me to people who may be in the market. And then I go, hey, Jim sent me over. He said you might be able, and this is what I do. This is, and I'd ask him some questions. Do you have a jet? Are you interested in one? There are, they're better quality if you know where they came from, as opposed to maybe somebody, somebody that might meet miscellaneous people walking on the street that opened up, Inc. magazine and called the number and said, God, I want a jet. Well, little do they know it's more than $500 a month. So you get all those people that aren't qualified. I'd rather generate my own. And as I am talking to people, I am going to make sure that I keep note of everybody I ever talk to on different pieces of paper or in my little database or wherever I am in the process. And then what I want to do is drip on them. I want to let them know, hey, I'm still in the jet business. Things are going well. I sold this, that, and the other thing recently. And to everybody I talk with, they're going to do my little list. And whether it's a fax list or email list or calling list, I always every month I want to call as many people as I can that in my list. And I want to call what I'd say the A people, And if I can't after I get done with them, I'll call the B's, and only after that do I get a hold of the C's. But everybody gets dripped on every month with a little bit of news. Not that it's a sales piece, but it's just a reminder of what I do. But it's me schmoozing and building and doing that manual labor at first, because the magic is not in the lead that somebody gives you. It's in this process that you create, and not only that, but you're creating something that's not going to go away. You're creating, once you've done enough of this manual labor, and you've been mindful to track this along the way, and then be mindful that you're going to shift into a different gear that's going to send you business. Because, at first you're talking to people that either to build your referral network or to make a sale. Later, you're talking to, for the most part, people in your referral network, and then some of the people that come out of that you easily sell. And it's a whole different way. Almost nobody does it this way, but it's a way of understanding that you shift gears in your process. Most people, when they start selling, they think that they're going to be cold calling for the rest of the time, beating the street. That's I don't know whoever decided to make that a standardized picture of what a salesperson does. It's what most people do, and I think that's why there's a lot of turnover in sales. But if you think about this a little bit differently and understand at some point at the beginning you're accumulating for tomorrow. I know a lot of people don't like to think about tomorrow. It's instant gratification, but the people that make all the money, that's what they do. That's the trick. That's the secret.
So the important thing is you don't have to cold call, and you don't have to rely on leads, that you're able to generate those yourself.
Absolutely, and you build actually a machine. The value later. At first the value is all in you and you talking and selling. Later the value, and beginning right away, you're building a machine. Later the value is in the machine, because the machine does the prospecting for you and kicks out people, prospects, leads that you can sell. And there's huge value in that machine.